I told my dad I haven't forgiven him, and I'm not going to. My little brother Danny turned 18 last Saturday, and my mom threw him this backyard party. About 30 people, his friends, some family, neighbors. I showed up with a cake I'd spent 2 hours making because Danny actually deserved it. What nobody told me, what my mom conveniently left out of every single conversation we had that week, was that she'd invited my dad. I hadn't seen him in 7 years. He was standing by the grill in a blue polo shirt, laughing at something my uncle said when I walked through the gate. I just stopped and stared. My mom came rushing over immediately. She grabbed my arm and whispered that she just wanted everyone together for Danny's sake, and that I needed to be mature about this. I looked at her and said, "You could have warned me." She said she knew I wouldn't have come. She was right. My dad spotted me across the yard and started walking over with this careful smile like I was a dog he wasn't sure would bite. "Hey kiddo," 7 years, and that's what he opened with. "Hey kiddo, I should have just stayed quiet and got through the day for Danny. I know that." But then my aunt pulled me aside and said my dad had been telling everyone he tried to reach out to me for years, and I kept rejecting him, that I was too angry to let him back in, that he'd done everything he could. I stood there, listening to her say this, and felt something shift. I asked her if he mentioned leaving when I was 11, if he mentioned the note on the kitchen counter, if he mentioned my mom working double shifts while I figured out how to cook pasta so we didn't go to bed hungry. She got quiet. I walked back over to where he was now holding a plate of food and chatting with Danny like he was just some cool uncle who'd been around the whole time. I tapped him on the shoulder. He turned around still smiling. I said, "Can we talk for a second?" We moved to the side of the house, out of the main crowd, but not private enough that nobody could see us. I told him I'd heard what he'd been saying to the family, that he'd been painting himself as the rejected father trying his best. He started to explain, and I just talked over him. I told him I remembered being 16 and sitting in a hospital waiting room alone at 2 a.m. because mom had a seizure and I had nobody to call. He didn't know about that. I told him that was the point. He switched tactics then, said he was in a bad place mentally when he left, that I'd understand one day when life got more complicated, that people make mistakes. I told him I wasn't there to argue about why he left. I told him I was there because Danny deserved a birthday party, and I wasn't going to ruin it. But I needed him to stop telling people he'd tried, because he hadn't. He looked at me for a long second and said, "I'm still your father." I told him that didn't mean what he thought it meant. Then he did something I didn't expect. He said loudly enough that a few people nearby turned around, that he hoped I'd get the help I clearly needed because carrying this much bitterness wasn't healthy. My mom appeared from nowhere, grabbing both our arms. Danny had heard the raised voice and was watching from across the yard with this expression that broke my heart a little. My uncle started walking over to play peacemaker. My dad was looking at me, waiting for me to crumble or apologize. I didn't. I said calm as I could, "I haven't forgiven you, and I'm not going to. Not today, probably not ever. And I need you to stop making that my problem at family events." Then I walked back across the yard and handed Danny his cake and sang him happy birthday with everyone else. My dad left about 20 minutes later. My mom cried in the kitchen and said I'd made it about myself. I told her she'd put me in an impossible position, and she knew it. My uncle texted me that night saying he respected how I handled it. Danny texted me too. He just said, "I know that was hard. Thanks for staying." I didn't respond to my dad.